Benji, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Benji, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were.
Welcome to the first Good Guys podcast of history. Actually, this is really exciting stuff here. Just when you thought you couldn't get enough of the Good Guys, be it lackluster softball on the diamond, or mediocre blogging, or even just terrible song recording, here we found yet one more way to penetrate your brain, so to speak, and you're welcome in advance. So with today's first podcast, I think it's only very appropriate that I bring in one of the historical Good Guys favorites that we've ever been around. This guy is a load of accomplishments. I'm sorry, maybe that's his criminal record. But without further ado, we'll bring him in here. So you guys might know him as other names, Fausto. But here he is, the one, the only Mr. Garrett Forsythe. So, Garrett, welcome on.
Hey, thanks for having me, Joe.
Oh, I'd have you any way I could get you.
Fair enough. You might have to run that by Joanna, though.
You know what? What she doesn't know could potentially hurt her, yes, but we're not really worried about that right now. So
Fair enough.
So Garrett, I got a couple questions for you. First off, I think a lot of the Good Guys faithful obviously remember you very well. You were a lovable character around the team. What are you up to these days?
Oh, well, that's a pretty good question. I'm currently down in Texas, just taking it easy, one step at a time, and enjoying the fact that I didn't have to deal with snow much this winter.
And for that, I'm a little jealous. So many will recall you have several distinguishing characteristics and actually accomplishments in your historic career. One of which is little known fact here, but you hold one of the oldest Good Guys records.
I'm still very proud about that.
Do you know which record I'm speaking of?
I'm fairly certain, yes.
Could you share it for the rest of us?
I believe it is the single game strikeout record, if not the season strikeout record.
Well, I'd have to go back and verify for the season, but I know for a fact there was one fateful night, and I feel like there was a lot of booze and depression involved. And, some might argue it's also hard to swing with a boner.
That is true.
So how many strikeouts did you have that night?
It was 4 strikeouts
Wow.
in the book, but not all of them were, your standard strikeouts. 2 of them were, so I think that alone would probably have given me the record. But I know one was a foul out, and then another was a strikeout while looking. But those weren't all the outs I had that game. I had one more at bat in which I had an infield fly.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm glad you actually got a piece of it there.
Right?
So actually, as that was such a historic moment, that may or may not have been the reason we started tracking strikeouts anyway. Because we didn't always do that.
I can imagine that's probably why.
Well, who knows? You probably played before the K era there, before we even started. So, maybe the numbers are not as indicative as they should be for your accomplishments there.
That is a good possibility.
So obviously you know your way around a jug of beer. Actually, I had the privilege of playing with you in another league, this was in Northern Kentucky, I believe, where you could actually have beer on the diamond with you, which is one of the Expressway Park no-nos.
Yes, that was actually one of my favorite places to play. Always when I was behind the dish, I had one, right there next to me, so I didn't have to go far for a beer.
That's excellent. I recall, if I'm not mistaken, one moment where there was an outfielder backpedaling, switching the beer between his open hand and his glove as he could track the ball, and I think he actually made the catch, so it was pretty impressive.
I do recall that. I think that was the first time I had played in that league, and I was like, hey, I'm going to have to come back.
They really found their way to your heart there pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, something else I noted when we were playing down there, you were a man with sneaky power. You didn't seem like you could command that kind of authority with the stick up front, but man, there was a couple of times where you just laid into it. So Garrett goes from striking out 4 times in a game to bombing triples down the gap.
Yeah, I have very inconsistent power, if you will. So, I always like to equate my softball prowess from anywhere from being a 3 to at least being entertaining.
That's and obviously the last part there is what the good guys are most interested in, the entertainment factor. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be playing with most of these assholes.
Very true.
So actually, Garrett, taking a turn towards a serious note here, you actually had a near-death experience on the softball diamond at one time. I don't know if you even remember that or if it's been blocked from your brain.
Sometimes I have nightmares about that scenario. It was quite eye-opening.
Yeah, and for those of you out there who might not remember that day, there was a gentleman on our team who just played with the strongest emotion there is, and that could go one way or another. I mean, he was joyous 1 minute and don't get on his bad side. And let's just say that maybe a questionable call at the plate resulted in a helicopter-style fling of a bat. Meanwhile, Garrett here does a matrix move in the on-deck circle and somehow avoids catching a chunk of aluminum upside the melon.
Yeah, I replay that often in my mind, and I don't know how I didn't get clocked in the face by that bat. But, hey, it was good. I think the fact that it was super muddy and rainy that evening was kind of what led me to, I think I just slipped.
Just a graceful slip. That's good. It was life-saving.
Exactly.
Well, and we all actually, we're going to need to get Mr. Caston on here sometime because as former good guys go, he's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. He was always fun.
So, again, talking about former good guys here, taking a look at the career stat line here, you are looking up at you have 41 career hits, and if we're looking at the hit totals, above you, not by far, is Mr. Matt G, Mr. Tuxedo T-shirt himself with 52. What are the odds that we can get you back to the diamond in enough time this summer to catch Matt G?
Oh man, that's a pretty good question. I think I'd probably need a full season to get there, but who knows? Maybe I just have a crazy good game and can do it, in 2. But what are the chances of 5 plate appearances in 2 games?
Well, you did it that one night there. The night of your big infield fly.
5 plate appearances twice in 2 games.
Oh, fair enough.
In each game. But we'll see.
Well, that would still leave you 1 short on your math there. That's fine. We'll.
Hey, come on now.
So we've chatted about Mr. Adam Caston. We've chatted about Mr. Matt G. You yourself has played beside a lot of good guys over the years, even some Hall of Famers. Go back and maybe kind of in your memory banks there. Give me an idea. Who are some of your favorite good guys that you shared the diamond and dugout with?
Mr. Jake Greason was always a good time because he was always talking about some sort of dead animal that he had to deal with, and I just assumed he was talking about his wife, but it wasn't. Other than that, let's see. There's nobody that I didn't enjoy, having a cold beer with. The guy that I could never figure out, though, was Guy Salad. Seems, 1 week he was, super different than the other. I always wondered if he was bipolar.
Bipolar? Well, you know what? He did always have, you never knew what kind of personality Guy was going to come up with.
It's very true. Very true.
So I mean, is there any other great moments in good guy history that you can recall off the top of your head? Or I mean, I know there's been so many. Over the years.
There is a lot, and I think a lot of my other moments were maybe from some different leagues, but always going out after the game, and if we could stop by and do a little karaoke, that was always enjoyed. I'm a terrible singer, so I wasn't doing it, but I enjoy judging other people.
That's great. How about take me to some predictions for 2018? I mean, you can leave that good guys related or maybe wide open even, and just educate me a little bit about everything else.
Oh, well, I think the good guys are going to have another questionable season out of there. It seems like there's always one season that they don't quite know what they're doing, one season where they contend with the championship, and one where they just focus on drinking. So I think that trend's going to continue.
I think actually we've checked all those boxes off in one evening before.
Sounds about right. You always have to atone for the good guys inning where you give up 7-8 runs. And
oh my gosh, yes! I can't believe you brought that up. Actually, that's the good guys inning probably deserves its own podcast all by itself, and we'll have to touch on that another night.
I think so.
Well, Garrett, it's been a blast. We're gonna let you go here, and this is going to conclude our first podcast for the good guys. And again, I think this was obviously an arousing success, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. Well, thanks for having me, and keep me apprised of some future endeavors. Hopefully I can meet up with you guys.
All right. Well, this is the conclusion of the first Good Guys podcast. We'll see you in the parking lot.
Benji, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you. I need someone to drive me home.